In 1258, the Mongol army slaughtered hundreds of thousands in Baghdad, destroying the greatest center of Islamic learning in the world. The waters of the Tigris River reportedly ran black with ink from destroyed books, then red with blood. The Mongols seemed like the ultimate enemies of Islam. Yet within just 50 years, these same conquerors would bow in prayer facing Mecca. The descendants of Genghis Khan would become some of Islam's most devoted defenders. This is the story of one of history's most unexpected transformations. How the Mongols went from Islam's destroyers to its protectors. To understand this transformation, we need to begin on the steppes of Mongolia in the early 1200s. Here, the Mongols lived as they had for centuries, nomadic herders moving with their animals across open grasslands. The Mongols practiced a form of shamanism that perfectly suited their nomadic way of life. Shamanism is a spiritual practice where shamans communicate with the spirit world through rituals and trance. At the center of Mongol belief was Tengri, the eternal blue sky. Tengri was not a god in human form, but a supreme cosmic force, eternal and all-powerful. They believed the world was filled with spirits in rivers, mountains, and forests. This belief system was remarkably tolerant, accepting that all religions honored this same ultimate power. As the Mongol Empire expanded, this tolerance became a governing strategy rather than a moral ideal. Genghis Khan understood that belief systems could unite or destroy an empire. Instead of enforcing one faith, he enforced loyalty through law, the yasa. The yasa demanded obedience, discipline, and unity, not religious conformity. This allowed Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and others to live under Mongol rule without forced conversion. Mosques, churches, and temples were protected, taxed, and left undisturbed. For the Mongols, faith was personal, obedience was political. But this balance would not last forever. As Mongol armies swept into Central Asia and Persia, they encountered Islamic civilization at full strength. These were lands of scholars, judges, merchants, and ancient institutions. At first, Islam was simply one belief among many under Mongol rule. Then came the destruction. Cities burned, populations shattered, institutions erased. The sack of Baghdad in 1258 shocked the Islamic world to its core. To Muslims, the Mongols appeared as divine punishment, chaos unleashed. But history was about to turn in an unexpected direction. Some Mongol leaders began to look toward Islam not as victims, but as rulers. The first major conversion came when Berke Khan embraced Islam in the mid-1200s. Berke Khan's decision was not made in secrecy or doubt. He had witnessed the devastation caused by unchecked Mongol power and came to believe that Islam offered moral order, justice, and restraint. His conversion marked the first time a Mongol ruler openly aligned his authority with Islamic belief, changing how power itself was understood within the empire. This was not symbolic. It reshaped Mongol politics from within. Berke's faith immediately influenced alliances, laws, and priorities. He opposed fellow Mongol rulers who continued campaigns against Muslim lands, proving that belief now carried political weight. For the first time, Mongol unity fractured along ideological lines rather than blood alone. Later, Ghazan Khan of the Ilkhanate formally converted in 1295. Ghazan's conversion was deliberate and public, announced across his realm to remove all ambiguity. Unlike earlier rulers who tolerated Islam, Ghazan embraced it as a foundation for governance. His authority legitimized Islam at the highest level of Mongol power in Persia. Islam became the state religion of large Mongol territories. Mosques were rebuilt, Scholars were invited back, and religious courts resumed operation. This was not a retreat from Mongol rule, but an evolution of it. The conquerors adopted the faith of the conquered, reshaping imperial identity across the region. Persian administrators returned, courts were rebuilt, law was rewritten. Experienced Muslim officials restored taxation systems, justice, and record-keeping. Governance shifted from destruction to administration. Cities once reduced to ash became functioning centers of law, trade, and learning again under Mongol authority. The Mongols did not abandon their identity, they adapted it. Nomadic traditions, military discipline, and steppe leadership survived. But they were now combined with Islamic legal structures and Persian bureaucracy, forming a hybrid empire unlike any before it. Nomadic power fused with Islamic civilization. This fusion created stability across vast territories. Trade routes reopened, cities flourished, and intellectual exchange resumed. The Mongols had transformed from storm to structure. The destroyers had become protectors. Those who once shattered civilizations now guarded them. History had reversed its course, not through defeat, but through transformation. This transformation reshaped Eurasia for centuries. The Mongol conversion to Islam altered political, religious, and cultural trajectories across Asia and the Middle East. It influenced borders, beliefs, and institutions long after Mongol armies faded from the battlefield. Islam spread deeper into Central Asia under Mongol protection. Regions once dominated by shamanistic traditions gradually integrated Islamic practices. Trade routes carried not only goods, but scholars, judges, and ideas protected by Mongol authority. Trade flourished, scholars traveled, cultures blended. The Silk Road reached new heights of connectivity. Persian science, Islamic theology, and Mongol logistics combined to move knowledge across continents faster than ever before. The Mongols proved that conquest does not always end in destruction. Their story challenged history's assumptions. Power, once used only to dominate, could also preserve. The same empire that erased cities helped rebuild civilizations. Sometimes it ends in transformation. Empires do not always fall by collapse. Some dissolve by change, reshaping themselves into something history never expected. From shamanism under the eternal blue sky to Islam across empires, history turned. What began on the open steppe ended in mosques, courts, and cities. The Mongols did not simply conquer the world, they were changed by it. The Mongols are remembered as history's greatest destroyers, cities erased, empires shattered, civilizations brought to their knees. But what if that story is only half true? What if the same empire that burned Baghdad also rebuilt it? What if the warriors of the eternal blue sky became the guardians of Islamic civilization? This is not a story of simple victory or defeat. It is the story of how power adapts, how belief reshapes empires, and how the most feared force in human history transformed itself from within. From the steppes of Central Asia to the courts of Persia, from shamanic traditions to Islamic law, the Mongol journey defies every expectation. This transition did not end the Mongols, it changed them forever.